Hola amigos, ¿qué tal? Stuart here from Spain Speaks with an update today. We are currently in day 4 of the lockdown, and there's been a few developments over the last few days. You'll probably notice that I'm not putting these videos out every day because I need to take in the information in order to process it and have an idea of basically what's going on in my own head first. Basically what's happened over the last few days is that other European countries have followed Spain. France in particular has decided to follow a similar path to Spain. It's not quite as strict as it is here in Spain. Remember, here in Spain we can't go outside for any reason except to go to work if it's absolutely necessary, to go to the shops, to go to the pharmacy, to take the dog for a walk and things like that. In France, apparently, they are still able to go outside and do exercise as long as they're able to do it alone. We here in Spain don't have that freedom yet, and I don't know if we're going to get it or not. A lot of people are starting to get a little bit edgy, having been inside for now 4, sometimes 5 days. People might have started their self-quarantine 5 days ago. Officially, it came into place 4 days ago. And a lot of people are starting to get a bit edgy now. I'm speaking from my own personal experience. It's not easy being stuck at home, especially when you are used to leading an active life, going running, riding your bike and all of those things. But these are the sacrifices that we have to make. Now, what's happened in the last 48 hours or since I last put a video out? Well, the borders have closed. The land borders have closed here in Spain. The only people that are allowed to come in and out of the country are Spanish citizens, residents in Spain, people that work on different sides of the border, so French workers in Spain, Spanish workers in France, Portugal, etc. You're allowed to come in if you have a force majeure and you have the necessary documentation, and they are also allowing the transports of goods from other European countries to still come in. There were some people yesterday in France who tried to cross the border in order to buy cheap cigarettes, to buy cheap alcohol. They were turned back. So only Spanish residents, nationals and residents are allowed to come into the country at the moment. The airports are still open, but that's mainly for people who are leaving the country and for people that are coming home from other countries to Spain because they'd prefer to be here rather than in a place that they're not really familiar with. The Prime Minister has announced a €200 billion package in order to help businesses and to help the people that need help in this time of crisis. Basically, this money is going to help companies, it's going to help self-employed, it's going to help people who have been laid off because of the problem we have at the moment. Now, apparently up to 100,000 workers have been laid off or are going to be laid off in the near future. A lot of companies have asked for a temporary redundancy plan. A lot of restaurants, a lot of food chains. Also, one of the big hamburger chains also said that it was planning to lay off temporarily 14,000 of its workers, and it applied to the government to do this. The government has rejected that plan, saying that they need to keep open in some circumstances as people need to have access to food delivery services. So that idea was quashed by the government, but probably instead of 14,000, it'll be maybe 10, and only the essential workers will be kept on. But that's where we are at the moment with this. Somebody in one of the comments in the previous videos asked me to provide data on the health cases and some of the other aspects of that. I'm not going to do that. I'll leave a link below in the section that you can see what the newspapers are reporting and you can get an idea. I'm not here to talk about the specific data, but as I said, read a paper and you can get the idea about that. Supermarkets are now up and running more or less normally. That panic that we had last week where people were buying the toilet paper, buying the rice, buying pasta, buying everything they could get their hands off has calmed down. People are able to go to the supermarket now, of course. That's one of the things that we are allowed to do. My partner went shopping yesterday and she told me that the shelves were stocked. There was plenty of things available. There was plenty of fresh fruit. There was plenty of other products that you need to get by in these circumstances. And we were able to buy everything that we had on our list. We were able to buy fresh meat. We were able to buy some pasta. We were able to buy fruit. We were able to buy the things that we needed to buy in order to see us through for the next few days. We're not going to the supermarket and buying lots of things. We think that, we can go every 2 or 3 days, maybe every 5 days to the supermarket to get what we need. So we're not going there buying in bulk. There's really no need for us to do that because we are a family of 3. Of course, if you are a family of 5 or a family of 6, you're going to need to buy more things, and they are letting you buy reasonable amounts of things. Obviously, if you go there and you try to buy 20 packets of pasta, they might stop you from doing that. Now, new testing goes into place tomorrow for people that might have mild symptoms. There's new testing being organised by the government. I think it's going into place tomorrow, but if not tomorrow, in the next few days, where people that have mild symptoms are going to be tested. A lot of people haven't been able to be tested yet, and this is one of the problems. People with mild flu-like symptoms or something like that haven't been able to be tested, but in the next couple of days, that is going to change. So maybe a lot more cases will come to light in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 days. But I'll keep you up to date on that as well in the next video. The army has now been deployed to 48 cities. The other day it was only 7, now it's 48, and there are 2,600 soldiers on the ground, making sure that people abide to the new rules in place. Those being that you can't be in the street unless you have a purpose. Very limited purposes at the moment. 89 people have been arrested in the last few days, people that weren't paying attention to the restrictions or people that were repeat offenders. They have been arrested. Some people are taking a little bit longer to get it into their skulls that this is a problem, and they have been obviously arrested by the police, and I don't know what's going to happen from there, but that's the latest thing that I have seen in the papers here. Now, an important piece of information: if you are living in Spain, all administrative deadlines have been suspended. So if you need to renew your driver's license, if your car needs to go over the MOT, if you need to get your residency card renewed, all of these procedures have been postponed until further notice. I don't know when they're going to get back up and running, but they have been postponed temporarily. So if your MOT expires on your car, the little sticker that you need to put on your car to show that it is roadworthy, if that expires, the police are not going to stop you and give you a fine. That's what would normally happen, but of course in this situation they will not. And if your residency card expires during this period, for example, you're not going to become an illegal resident. You will have time when everything boils over to get these things done. So that's important. And again, driver's license. If your driver's license has expired or is expiring and you haven't had a chance to renew it because the medical center where you would need to go to is closed, then obviously you are still able to drive without a valid driver's license if it expires during this period. So that's an important piece of news. Now, the Prime Minister today has admitted that the government was caught off guard. Now, obviously, it's not a time to stick the boot into governments here. I'm sure this is going to be a common characteristic in a lot of countries around the world, that they are not prepared, but hopefully the measures that have been put in place will help to get us through this. Now, it's also time to help people in need. There are a lot of charities, there are a lot of people working behind the scenes to make sure that the people most in need during this time of crisis are going to be taken care of. There are ways to donate money, of course, and the objective here is to keep people that are potentially vulnerable safe. And this is one of the reasons for these strict measures here in Spain. And my personal suggestion would be that we need to help small business as much as we can. So I'm not saying that we don't do our shopping at the big shopping centers, or I'm not saying that we don't, go to Amazon and buy things. But what I'm saying is that if there is a small operator, a small fruit shop, a small butcher, a small bakery that is still operating and is able to maybe do deliveries and get things done along those lines, I think we need to try to support these businesses. The same goes for if you're looking for a fitness app and you're looking to keep fit while you're at home and you're not able to go outside, you're not able to go to the gym, you're not able to do your normal yoga class. So instead of buying an app from somebody who's famous, for example, Chris Hemsworth, sorry Chris, but you're a millionaire, you're going to get through this. Let's try to support the smaller, maybe the local yoga studio has an app, maybe they're offering online classes. So I think we need to try to support local businesses and make sure they come out the other side of this afloat. So that's all I've got to say today. Questions and comments, please leave them in the section below. I'll let you debate it in the section below. Give the video a thumbs up if you liked it. I'll see you in the next video. Hasta luego. Stay safe.